Michael Church, Crawl Space Ninja. Today I want to talk to you all about the number one mistake I feel that is made during any type of basement waterproofing. Stay tuned. So if you're new to Crawl Space Ninja, we talk about everything related to waterproofing, indoor air quality, even encapsulation. We hope you'll subscribe to our channel, ring that notifications bell, make sure you follow us on Facebook, check out our DIY store and our franchise opportunities. I understand that many homeowners are focused on basement waterproofing because, obviously your basement's flooding, you got water coming in through the foundation wall, perhaps you have the water table rising and wicking up the foundation wall under the slab and then coming into the basement. And, most of you have probably a finished basement where the carpet could get wet and the furniture could get damp and the drywall could start growing mold and different things like that. It's a huge priority and you want to make sure you do that basement waterproofing correctly. But what I see is the number one problem that most homeowners face after basement waterproofing is they don't address humidity. And many years ago, I had a contractor call me up. He was a buddy of mine. He builds houses and he said, "Hey, Michael, come out and check out this basement. Brand new house. The homeowners are complaining. They got mold on the carpet." It was literally growing surface mold on the carpet, the drywall. They had a pool table down there and it was starting to grow mold. So I go down there and man, I get to the top of the stairs. There's a door at the top of the stairs to the basement. I opened the door and I felt that humidity just smack me in the face. And the problem is that basement was built so well and it was insulated so well that they didn't have to turn on the heat or the AC down there very often, which meant that the heat or the AC could not help address the humidity problem. They had a huge humidity problem down there, even though the basement was dry, didn't have any standing water issues or different things like that. So that's what I feel like is the biggest issue that homeowners do not address during basement waterproofing is addressing that high humidity. So obviously there's many reasons why your basement could be humid, but obviously the flooding coming in and different things like that, you want to make sure you address that. I'm totally for addressing basement waterproofing, but there's different reasons that your basement's going to get humid. But first, you need to know what the proper humidity is. We here at Crawl Space Ninja believe that you should keep your basement and your crawl space between 45% and 55% relative humidity. Obviously, you're going to need a good dehumidifier in order to do that. We really like the April Air dehumidifier. You can put them as a standalone in the basement or in the crawl space to address that humidity. But many basements, as I mentioned before, stay cooler in the summer than the rest of the house. And that means that AC unit that you have down there isn't going to kick on to help remove that humidity. Okay, so you want to make sure that you have something in place like a great basement dehumidifier to assist that AC unit whenever when the basement gets really humid and that humidity gets above 55%. And just because your basement is finished doesn't mean that you don't have humidity rising up through the slab, okay? You can have carpet down, you can have some kind of tile or whatever down, and that slab is sitting almost directly on the dirt, especially if you have an older home. Okay, most older homes, the slab was poured directly on the dirt. Many times here in Tennessee, when we used to waterproof basements, we would find after we removed the slab, the clay was right there. Now, newer construction, you have the dirt, then you have a gravel bed, and then you even have a layer of plastic. But if you've got a home that's maybe 15, 20 years old, you probably don't have plastic under the slab and you probably certainly don't have gravel. So you got to control that humidity because that humidity is wanting to rise up from that slab. It can also rise up from the wall and come into the basement as well. Even if you have a finished wall, maybe you have drywall first strips, different things like that around, that moisture, that humidity can come through that block wall and affect the humidity just like it affects from the slab. So, many basements are humid even though you don't see standing water. Another thing I want to point out is a well-insulated basement does not mean that you don't have high humidity. Remember, insulation is designed as a thermal break to keep heat and cool inside the basement. It's not really designed to keep moisture out. Now you can put foam board up, even waterproofing foam boards, different things like that, But unless you seal the gaps between the foam boards and put vapor barrier up over them, you're still going to have quite a bit of moisture traveling through those walls. And even us, when we encapsulate a crawl space, we can completely cover all the dirt, we can cover all the foundation walls, the pillars and everything with plastic, and we still have a humid crawl space. And basements are the same way. No matter how finished or unfinished they are, there's a good chance you're always going to be battling a humidity problem because of how the moisture, the groundwater, is trying to infiltrate into that basement. So what is the solution to controlling humidity in the basement? As I mentioned, it's a great basement dehumidifier, and I would encourage you not to get some, small 50-pint dehumidifier that just sits in the corner. You want to probably have a good commercial grade dehumidifier. Perhaps if you have ductwork going through the basement, you could put the dehu in the closet, pipe all the dry air through the HVAC system, because those 50-pint dehumidifiers are kind of funny because they will pull 50 pints of moisture out of the air, but they'll only hold 12 to 15 pints of moisture. So that means if it's working on a 24-hour cycle, you could be emptying that thing 3 times a day. That's a lot of you having to go down there and empty that little dehumidifier. So if you're looking for a great basement dehumidifier, we can install those for you also here at Crawl Space Ninja if you're in our service area. But check out our DIY store. I'll put a link to that down below if you want to do it yourself and get yourself a really good basement dehumidifier to keep that basement dry all year long. I'm Michael Church, Crawl Space Ninja. We hope you make it a happy and blessed day, and we'll see you later.